Where are you sending us?
Well, this is a fun one.
Streaming July 23rd on Paramount+, the hit series Star Trek Strange New Worlds returns.
You are facing the finest crew in Starfleet.
Boldly go one step closer
Any of these missions could be on Ost.
to where it all began.
We've seen a lot of strange new worlds, but we'll never see something like this.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds. New season streaming July 23rd exclusively on Paramount+.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
You know what I want to start off today, man? It's, every once in a while, I feel like we, doing the show for a decade.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, an episode comes up on one of our birthdays.
Happy birthday, Henry!
I'm not asking for that.
Well, you are.
I'm not asking for it, and I will not accept
Happy birthday,
it.
Henry Zabrowski.
I will not accept all of this love and affection. I will not. I push it. I push it away.
Henry, I have a gift. It's my dookie.
Oh my God, you really did shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just fucking shit in your own hands, you animal. That's disgusting. But wait, you know what I want to start off today is, guys? Honestly, let's give a big fucking round of applause for Gef. Now, we're going to be talking a lot about Gef the Talking Mongoose today, and I want to say a lot of people are 7 p.m. this week, 7 p.m., people going out there, they're applauding for the emergency workers, love it. But for one last night, my applause was for Gef.
All right, there it is. Welcome to the last podcast on the left, everyone. I am Ben, hanging out with Marcus Parks.
Hello.
Staring at the beautiful birthday boy, Henry Zabrowski.
And I'm just getting younger.
Well, that's not how birthdays work. You're not Benjamin Button.
No. You could tell by the way my neck is starting to look like the wrinkles in my forehead.
Yes, indeed. More like Benjamin Stuffin. Hello, here I am. All right, today's episode. I cannot wait to talk about this. I had no idea that this was ever in existence, as opposed to most weeks. So today we're going to talk about Gef. What's Gef? Gef the Talking Mongoose.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we fucking are.
Honk, honk.
It's not that kind of goose.
It's not that kind of goose. Honk,
honk. You just like making that noise.
So the tale of Gef the Talking Mongoose took place in the 1930s on a small island between England and Ireland called the Isle of Man. Ooh. During that time, a newly arrived family named the Irvings claimed to play host to a somewhat unique spirit. What started off as a run-of-the-mill haunting evolved into what could almost be described as something close to the John Lithgow classic, Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, cool. Although, did Harry was abused.
Harry was just of a different ilk,
yes.
And they had to grow to understand each other.
At least get a convertible for the skunk ape. Come on.
Well, in this case, the Sasquatch was a mongoose who had mastered the art of human speech. Now, some of you, including Ben here, might be confused as to what exactly a mongoose is.
You dummy.
No, I know what they're like. They're more of a marmot. God!
Yeah, to give you a brief primer, a mongoose, plural mongooses.
Mm-hmm. Is that true?
Yes, it is. I looked it up.
Wow, very good.
They're similar to a weasel or a ferret. Or a marmot, either one.
Or a marten. Because those are around, you remember we saw those in Berlin, these weird little squirrel, little raccoon things that eat up people's cars, and they're so cute, but they just kill them by the fucking dozen in Germany by like stomping on their heads and poisoning them and shooting them with guns and shit, but they're so cute.
Well, amazingly, though, it's been found in recent years that while mongooses cannot talk,
Fuck you!
Whoa!
Conventionally, Some species of mongoose, such as the meerkat, the cutest of all mongooses, do actually have their own language that communicates to other meerkats the speed, location, and type of predator that might threaten the meerkat gang.
Can we all remember the scene in Big Lebowski when the nihilist threw the mongoose into the tub with Big Jeffrey Lebowski?
That was a marmot.
That was a marmot. Remember that?
Again, you're being racist against weasels. But this story is unique. Of in the world of the paranormal lexicon, in the world of the weird, Gef the Talking Mongoose is unique because he falls into a bunch of different categories. I've seen Gef the Talking Mongoose like top hauntings of the UK. I've seen Gef the Talking Mongoose labeled as a cryptid. Some people that believe that he is an actual physical creature. There's some people that believe that he is just a phantom. There's some people who believe he is an astral projection from deep inside of the I'm going to say the Dickerol. If you listen to C.W. Ledbetter and you read the astral plane and try to understand that, you'll see that actually Gef the Mongoose might just be a living, thinking astral decahedron that pokes its way into our universe and becomes a little mongoose. So think about that for a while with a fucking edible up your nose.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the Ledbetter Act, very, very positive. Gef the Talking Mongoose, why call it something as mundane as Gef?
That was his own choice.
That's his name, buddy.
Yeah.
What?
This episode also gave me a lot of opportunities to just watch footage of mongooses.
Yeah.
And they are dangerous, dude. They fucking go against them cobras. They don't give a fuck, dude. Them cobras, because they got a little bit of immunity, but still, they fast, man. And they jump back and forth, and they fall, and they bite their little tails. They don't give a shit. They protect the squirrels, man.
They bite off your Johnson. I'm doing the honk. I don't care.
Well, the Talking Mongoose that we're speaking of today was called Gef. And in addition to holding full conversations with every member of the Irving family, Gef was said to be an actual physical being who ate food, played with coins, and even killed rabbits as an offering to the family who gave him a home.
Okay.
Got to, dude. Yeah. Fucking Gef the Talking Mongoose is paying rent.
Yeah, sounds like it.
From what the Irving family said, Gef spoke in a voice 2 octaves higher than a man's, in a tone closer to a teenage girl. They said he had knowledge of multiple language, sang popular songs of the day from memory, and would even bring gossip from across the island to the Irving's meager farmhouse at Dorlish Kashen.
Sounds like they should have named him Karen.
Kissel, please leave the Karens alone. They've gotten enough. I hate it.
And while you might think Gef would be a nasty fellow, as most supernatural beings who attach themselves to a family are wont to be, this is ultimately the story of a mostly friendly ghost, who, for reasons known only to him, established himself as a member of a lonely family of sheep herders.
If I were to use a D&D classification, I would call him chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
I think that he's neutral, and he goes for whatever pleasures him. What you're going to see, well, whatever helps him, and whatever helps Gef's agenda. And what is Gef's agenda? He likes bacon without the fat. He loves bacon without the fat. It's his favorite thing on the face of the planet. And whatever it was that got him, which in the end truly reveals his most mongoose-like nature. He likes little bits of food, and he's cute as hell. But also fuck with you, throw a bunch of rocks at your head, throw chairs around.
Did you say he likes bacon without the fat?
Loves bacon without the fat.
But the fat's what makes the bacon so good.
But he doesn't, he likes the lean.
Okay.
He likes the lean, which is strange, but that's Gef, man. And this is Gef's world. We're just living in it.
All right.
However, the loneliness felt by that family of sheep herders is said by skeptics to be the real source of Gef the Talking Mongoose. Some said that the daughter of the Irving family was just an extraordinary ventriloquist and created the character of Gef out of boredom.
They also they called her a natural ventriloquist, that she did it almost against her will. Those are the original articles that came out, painted her as this sort of like adept who could just throw her voice around, which a lot of experts say, I mean, you got to be able to kind of figure out how to physically do it. And if it kind of comes out of nowhere, if you're not hearing someone practicing ventriloquism, I don't think you just get it. But I don't know. Maybe she's like fucking Neo from The Matrix, and they downloaded it into her weird little girl UK brain.
Maybe. It's a scary skill, ventriloquism.
How is it?
You never know who's around. How many poltergeists are just ventriloquists having fun with you?
Well, how many times are you going to be on a date with a ventriloquist, right? And you're sitting there, and how many times he's going to do the trick? You're like, oh, lady, I'm right behind you. And you're like, cool, but as a woman, I'm actually scared of a man behind me.
I don't know what dating is like.
Honk, honk. I've never kissed a woman. I'm a ventriloquist.
Then the father, out of his own boredom, picked up on his daughter's imaginative creation and took it even further. And the mother, not wanting to be left out, joined in too. And over time, the family convinced themselves that Gef was indeed real, or so the skeptics say.
So the dad is being a real LeVar Ball. For those that don't know, LeVar Ball, Triple B brand, Lonzo Ball's dad, he's a real pain in the ass.
What?
He's trying to use his children for profit.
Well, no, he never searched for profit.
Okay.
It could be said that Gef might have been the world's longest, most elaborate dad joke. A character developed by a father to entertain his bored teenage daughter that got way out of hand and ended up essentially ruining his daughter's life.
Hey, she could have become a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a lesson to all the dads out there. It is not funny what's a classic dad joke? I'm trying to think of them.
A classic dad joke is, Dad, I'm hungry. Hi, hungry, I'm Dad.
Oh,
yeah,
God!
That's a good one.
My
dad used to do this. My dad used to do a running bit where he'd go, you kids better start behaving, because if not, I'm going to take off my belt. And you know what happens when I take off my belt? And the whole family would go, your pants fall down.
Oh, that's so
And then he just
nice.
beat the living shit out of us.
Yeah, that's the punchline.
No, he never hit us. My father never beat us. He never beat us once. He just wasn't there. It was the opposite of beating.
Perfect.
However, there are also people with more open minds who follow that same train of thought but end up in a different place entirely. Some speculate that the Irvings did in fact create Gef, but through the power of psychic energy. And these people think that it is possible that the Irvings collectively willed a talking mongoose into being as a thought form energy ghost, also known as a tulpa.
Do I have to reference the kids from the movie Hook again? How they thought food existed and it happened?
You know what? It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Those kids all still would have died.
Yeah, it's possible.
And some think that this tulpa was strong enough to actually interact with the outside world. Essentially, for those of you, if you've never heard the tulpa episode that we did many, many, many years ago, a tulpa is essentially a being that someone is able to create using only the powers of their own mind.
Cool.
And there is debate about whether or not it has to be purposefully created, because there's examples of a bunch of scientists trying to create a tulpa purposefully, and they talked about how Buddhists, monks, they also would go ahead and create tulpas to help them around their various monasteries. But then they get minds of their own and do whatever they want. But there's some people that believe that you might be able to accidentally create a tulpa by simply just feeding into a thought loop of a character that you create, and then the more and more you build out this character, the more and more it builds to begin. Because if you believe the book, The Astral Plane, we're sitting in a goop. We're sitting in a constant swamp of astral energy that reacts to our thoughts and our words, like the fucking slime from Ghostbusters 2. But what it can do is that you can build enough of a mound of it that it pokes through the astral plane into ours and creates, sometimes, a little mongoose.
And who doesn't believe the book of the astral plane? Everyone does. So interestingly, unlike Jessica Rabbit, not all tulpas have to have big boobs. Apparently some
But they should.
But they should.
They really, really should.
Well, I don't know if this talking mongoose needs to have big boobs. I think that would hurt.
I would honestly, I'd love to see it.
This is my question, though. If you would put boobs on a talking mongoose, you would have to put them on the back, because if you put them on the front, then you got dragon boobs. Now, next thing you know, you just got bloody nipple juice all over the place, which that's going to hurt the mongoose and your flooring. So then you got boobs on the back. There's a whole bunch of problems.
There's a lot of logical problems.
My problem is you put tits on the back of Gef, he becomes some kind of prison wife.
I don't know what happens.
So, over the course of this story, we're going to explore the question of what exactly Gef was. Was he a tulpa? Was he a hoax? Was he a fairy spirit, a classic trickster of yore?
A hob!
Or was this an actual, physical, biological mongoose who learned how to talk of his own accord?
Hey, guys, breaking. The answer is yes.
All right! Woo!
Well, it might be helpful at the very beginning to hear possibly the most illuminating quote from Jim Irving, the patriarch of the Irving clan, concerning Gef the Talking Mongoose. He said, quote,
"No one would ever invent such a bloody silly story."
That's the thing. This is a silly story. In fact...
No! No! Do not tell me that!
In fact, some might say it's bordering on stupid.
Oh, I'm mad. I'm mad at you for even thinking people are saying that right now.
But no matter how silly the story was, the fact remains that the Irvings believed in it wholeheartedly.
Not only did the Irvings believe in it, their neighbors believed in it, various reporters saw it, people heard it again and again. It actually kind of... If this wasn't some sort of giant group trick, like remember that viral story like they did back in the day, the March 7th, that old St. Patrick's Day YouTube video where a group of town acted like there was a leprechaun, and they're like,
"Oh, of
gotta
course.
get that gold!" Like it's like, and my father left me this leprechaun calling flute and all that kind of shit. It could be that, but if not, it kind of has like a body of existence. There's a bunch of people that are, and that's why Gef the Talking Mongoose is it's a thing that it's hard to shake. It's kind of sticking around. It hasn't yet been fully debunked, except from people just straight up saying there is no Gef the Talking Mongoose.
Well,
which you could say about fucking birds, man.
You could say that about the moon.
Regardless of the status of Jeff's existence, though, he was, for a brief moment in time, national news in the UK, and Jeff's existence was investigated as a serious supernatural phenomena by some of the most respected psychical researchers of the time.
So this is what happens when you don't have school shootings. Then you just like, what are we going to fill our pages with? They make up crisps. It's nothing but stories about crisps, horrible jokes, and Gef the Talking Mongoose.
Now, while the burden of proof was definitely on the Irving family when it came to Jeff's existence, as Henry said, this story was never definitively proven to be a hoax, and the daughter involved in this story maintained up until the 1970s that the whole thing was true, even if it kinda sorta ruined her life.
Why did it? Okay, we're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that.
How did that happen?
We're going to get into it. Now, while you may think that the story of a talking mongoose would be a short and sweet affair, you'd be mistaken.
God damn it.
No, I want this to go on for days.
Because author Christopher Joseph wrote a solid 400 pages on Gef the Talking Mongoose in a book succinctly called Gef!
Wow.
Like Gef!
I know Gef.
No, it's like his Broadway debut. Gef. He is, because he's a star, man. Gef is a fun guy. Gef reminds me of Aylmer from Brain Damage, where he's this kind of floating, whatever you want him to be, he's gonna be to you and to your family.
Okay.
But if you read Gef, we got an opportunity because of our buddy Neil, our man in the UK. He gave us the opportunity to read this book because it's out of print. And it's one of my favorite books about the paranormal I've read in a bunch of years. It is compelling, and it's why I'm here with the Gef tattoo underneath my left breast.
400 pages. Quite a tome.
400 pages, yeah. Now, stories of friendly, if inconvenient, visitations from entities are not unheard of in the realm of the supernatural. In 1956, 20 years after Gef, a girl named Shirley Hitchings in London communicated with an entity calling itself Donald, who declared itself to be the ghost of Louis XVII, the 10-year-old would-be king who died in captivity during the French Revolution.
Is that how we're doing time now? AG, BG, BG before Gef, AG after Gef?
That's how I feel.
However, Donald claimed that he had escaped prison, but had really drowned while trying to swim to freedom across the English Channel. In this case, the ghost became a companion and gave the nickname of Chib to his chosen companion.
Also, I want to point out this to everyone who just said, Gef starts with a J. It actually starts with a G in this case. So, hello, you just got trolled.
Well, you got that. It's that weird Gef. It's the other Jeff, which is always like I would never see a Jeff. It's like a Geoff Jeff. I always expect him to be wearing glasses. And the other one, because of a Jeff, I always imagine he's cutting up a bunch of Filipino men and taking their penises and putting them in a big fucking pot and making an altar to the Lord of Death and shit like that. So if I meet you and your name is Jeff, that's what I'm thinking.
Really,
until I see your ID.
Highly isolated situation that you just referred to that we can't go into for legal reasons.
Well, mostly, this little girl and Donald talked with each other through writing messages back and forth, mostly discussing boys, particularly the British child actor Jeremy Spencer, whom the young Louis had a particular obsession with.
Ooh, yeah, that's so cute, though. Just you and she's like me and my chib hanging out, talking about boys who used to be a king. That's fun. What's it like, my gentle king? Saying like stuff like that. That's new Gen Z stuff.
That's cool. So Louie's the lady, Louie's the girl.
Not a girl. No, it was a boy.
Oh, that's the boy.
It was a boy that was obsessed with another boy.
Ah, I see.
Have you ever met a woman named Louie?
No, that's why I thought it was interesting. I thought we were talking about the little girl.
Oh, no.
Oh.
In another case, back in the 1800s, a Quaker family outside of Newcastle was visited by an entity known as Old Jeffrey. What started off as a classic poltergeist haunting evolved into visitations from a menagerie of ghostly animals, including a white cat and a little monkey.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Even as recently as the 1990s, there was the Centrahoma stone-throwing spook, who announced his existence by throwing rocks at the home of a simple Oklahoma farm family. And the spirit eventually learned how to speak English by watching TV with its hosts. Now, aside from the London haunting of Louis XVII, the other two stories share a similarity. Both stories occurred in relative isolation, and the Irving family, who played host to Gef the Talking Mongoose, was no different. The Irvings were new arrivals to the Isle of Man, having moved there to live a simple life of sheep tenders after the patriarch, Jim Irving, lost his job with the Dominion Organ and Piano Company after the pipe organ business collapsed during World War I.
Oh, man, those are some cold-ass pipes.
Lo, what a horrible time it was for the pipe organ.
Indeed it was. When I think of World War I and World War II, I think of mostly the devastation of the pipe organ. And I just feel like
But I will say it made way for the electric guitar. Because the pipe organ was just sitting in that slot. And it's so hard to bring a pipe organ to gigs.
Now, as far as what they did on the Isle of Man, they did what pretty much everyone on the Isle did to make a living. They were in the business of livestock, owning sheep, goats, a dozen geese, and a few chickens. Now, the Isle of Man itself is a beautiful, yet desolate and difficult place to live. An island where the crows are so big and aggressive, they attack sheep, and the chickens are in constant danger of being carried off by huge hawks.
Yeah, dude, it's like Jurassic Park, but with bad food.
I'm going to say this. I'm Team Crow.
Always
have been.
Hello?
I love crows. I think they're so cool.
Hello! But that's so scary, man. What if you're a little guy? You get to a point where you're just a little man. I could probably be picked up by 4 Isle of Man crows. But I would eventually talk them into my service and use them like Gandalf fucking did, sending birds to pick up my even tinier boys that are doing my missions fucking for me, dude. Gandalf was a delegator.
Yes, he was.
Now, Jim was not a naturally talented rancher, and usually had to supplement his meager earnings with extra work for more successful farmers in exchange for a sack of potatoes.
All right, I just got a question. What is a naturally talented rancher? Just someone born with shovels for hands? What do you do?
Ask Marcus.
I'm just a natural. I just took to it right away. How do you become a natural rancher?
Ask a not natural rancher, Marcus Parks, much to the disappointment of his father and his father's father.
His hands are basically shovels.
Why do you think that the only fucking technique you need to be a successful rancher is digging?
Because you've only told me that all you do is dig fence holes.
That is mostly what it is.
That is a big part of it, yes. Digging post
I'm just going by the evidence that you have presented. I know nothing about ranching other than the fact that you were not great at it and your family kicked you out of the house. I have no idea what the story is. I don't know what the story is.
But it was because Marcus was the Joffrey, to use another fucking 8-year-old reference that doesn't matter anymore. He was the Joffrey of their family, where he was like, I only like to dig the holes. That was what he was good at. That was his entertainment.
I'm just happy you're up to date with Game of Thrones.
Also, I don't remember Joffrey having a penchant for digging holes.
I don't know.
Oh, what am I?
I stopped watching it. I gave up.
All right, what am I hearing? Let's get back to the mongoose.
Oh, look at the mongoose. Oh, let me talk a little bit about the Irvings. The Irvings, they were actually kind of like well-to-do where they were from. They were city people. They kind of lived the fun life. When the pipe organ industry fell out, like so many other haunted ghoul church people, they lost their jobs. So they thought they wanted to go to a simple life and go to the Isle of Man. But what happened is that because it's so isolated, they kind of became pariahs. They kind of became like very unpopular people within this small community because they were in a very hard farm. They were in a very hard patch of land to begin with. That also, we'll get into it, might have been vaguely haunted.
Okay.
But there's something about them being isolated that harkens back to the idea of witches and their familiars. There was a story about how, like, oftentimes witches would be, especially back in the day, the reason why they would be accused of this behavior was because they were unpopular. And because they lived far away from everybody else, you start to begin, like, stories about them. Mm-hmm. So things kind of already started bubbling up to the surface about the Irving family very early on.
All right, so there's kind of the weird family that people tell stories about.
Yeah, and they're really not even that weird. They're just not from the Isle of Man.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, as far as Margaret Irving went, the wife, she seemed to be built for farm life, at least physically. She was said to be of wiry constitution and strong physique, and would often walk 4 miles both ways through rough terrain to see her mother when she fell ill, and Margaret could do so without getting tired. A hardy woman.
She was a hoss. She was a hoss, and she had beautiful eyes, honestly, very mesmerizing eyes. People would often call her, they believed her to be in touch with the other side.
Now, I mean, one interesting thing about Margaret is that certain paranormal investigators who visited the farm during the Gef years said that they got a specific witchy vibe from her, and had life gone a different way, Margaret might have become a witch.
What does that even mean? She just didn't smell like cow shit? What is that? What does that mean?
Groovy chick.
She just dressed like Stevie Nicks, float around. All right.
Then there was the daughter, Vora. Despite moving to the Isle of Man at the age of 13, Vora adapted to farm life quickly and was soon killing rabbits for food and sale all on her own without a hint of squeamishness.
She kind of reminds me of the description of the woman who wrote A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, where she was very sullen, but also kind of like into herself. It's like a picture of a teenager from now, like this time period, kind of dropped into that time period where she loved getting her picture taken, but she hated being seen in person. She liked these kind of fashion-y things, but she also was very kind of private. And she said that she would often walk the areas around Dorlish, Cashin, and singing to herself, and kind of in a witchy mode as well. It was kind of a little bit of an Addams Family, which gives me comfort.
Yeah, of course, and you nailed it, man. Because 13-year-old girls, they love killing rabbits. That's the trend. I was just following that on Instagram, killing rabbits. If this was nowadays, she would be on the McDonald Triangle. She might be a serial killer.
But Vora, like all the Irvings, was an extremely intelligent, well-spoken person, which is another thing that set them apart from the local Manx community of simple farm folk who didn't have much use for all that fancy talking on the Isle of Man.
Oh.
Rednecks are the same everywhere.
But why didn't they take to singing? Why don't they sing?
Like the sound of music?
No, just like, I mean, honestly, it's much different than that. It's much darker than that, given the history of this country. But music comes from the farm.
Yeah.
But why not there?
Music comes from the farm.
Music comes from people farming together.
Kissel, they weren't farming. Those were slave workers.
And we
stole blues music from them.
I'm just saying, that's how they pass the time. There's a passing of... I watched the Johnny Cash documentary. They used to sing, and his father would beat him, and then he killed his brother on accident.
The spot the Irvings chose as their homestead was called Dorlish Cashin, and the house in which they lived was thought to be at least 130 years old, although its style of construction suggested that it might have been much older. The area around Dorlish Kashen had a witchy feel because it was dotted with prehistoric burial mounds and cairn circles, which may or may not have been used in ancient druid rituals, and may or may not be related to the ancient land of Fae.
Ooh,
now,
cool.
There was a lot of talk about this part of the Isle of Man being the land of the fairies. The fairies, as we know, come in many, many different forms. We know them as they can be called elementals, where they are just literally spirits that live inside of rocks, or they are mischievous entities that live off of the interaction between themselves and humankind. That we help them, like the alien phenomena, we help create them with our participation. And they also sometimes show up. There's some research about how tiny little furry creatures were often seen as the familiars of witches. That they would say, a lot of times they would either show up, unbeknownst to them, they'd have these little creatures just show up and join in their league with Satan or whatever the hell it is that they were doing. Or they purposely called them out and made it in a relationship with the Fae, and sometimes they would turn into a cute little creature because it's fun.
The only thing I know about fairies is they wear boots, according to King Ozzy Osbourne. Which I still don't know what that lyric means, but it's a great song.
Boots and you gotta believe me.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
It's summertime, baby. And you know what that means. You're going to go to Quince and you're going to get yourself some new clothes. Something happened to me by accident recently. I had a nice little Quince mistake. It was Father's Day, and we wanted to get Julie's dad something nice, so naturally we went to Quince. We looked around and we were like, oh, look at this 100% organic cotton mesh stitch button-up sweater polo. I think Bob's really going to like this. So we get it, and we buy it, and then you know what happened? A little fudge, a little mistake. Accidentally sent it to our house instead of Bob's house. Julie's like, oh, I'll just get a refund from Quince, and we'll mail Bob another one. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds nice. But, maybe I should just see it first. She pulls it out. I was like, whoa, look at that. It's like a button-down polo with nice little holes in it. It's breathable. It's not bad. I think I'm going to wear this to Jazz Fest this weekend. Wore it to Jazz Fest, got 3 comments. One was by a lady. Not bad, Quince. So get your hiney over to quince.com and treat yourself good and feel good. Look good this summer. Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/last for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. It gets hot up there. That's QUINCE.com/last for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/last. Look like a prince and you Quince, you jerks.
It's obvious we love true crime, but it does make us feel a little paranoid about what's out there, as it should. And that's why it's so important to get a home security system that gives you peace of mind. With SimpliSafe, you can stop crimes before they even start using their AI-powered cameras to identify threats on your property and alert US-based live agents to take action. Like arriving in a helicopter in the night, coming down from the helicopter, zipping down and breaking through the windows with their big axes, and going through the house, ripping through the walls, finding the criminals. It's easy to do. SimpliSafe has been a game changer for us. And the best part, there's no long-term contract. We've used it since the very early days of Simply Safe here at LPN, and it keeps us safe, doesn't it? It keeps all of our thoughts inside the building. Then there's the ones we let out because they have to go out because that's a part of it. But Simply Safe keeps the other thoughts safe. And for that, we say thank you, Simply Safe. And we want you to experience the same peace of mind as we, which is why we've partnered with Simply Safe to offer an exclusive discount to all of our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/LPOTL. That's half off at simplysafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Well, no matter what, Dorlish Kashin was known to be a place where strange things happened. Years before the Irvings arrived, men digging for some unknown reason found a funerary urn containing mysterious black ashes. Ooh. They reburied the urn, and some years later, a young man hunting rabbits was pushed back by an invisible force on the exact spot where the urn had been buried way back when, suggesting some sort of paranormal significance to the object. Years later, a drunk who happened to be sober on the night in question...
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Hilarious.
He said that he was followed by a ghost near Dorlish Kashin for 3 miles, and the ghost kept him company by singing hymns and trying to convince him to lead a better life.
It's like, yeah, man, I don't need a fucking astral sponsor right now. I'm trying to get home.
And the ghost looked like a large pink elephant, almost like he was going through delirium trance.
And then, of course, are the tales of local folklore. The Manx, as they call themselves, believed in the Scairgunlasheg.
Is that how you say that?
It's the closest I can come.
We'll go with it.
I tried to listen to some of the Manx Gaelic, and wow, that is fucking thick, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a whole other language or something.
It really is. I mean, it's not quite Gaelic, it's not quite English, it's Manx.
Manx.
Now, the Scairgunlasheg was a malicious ghost who would torment, nip, and pinch its victims as they tried to sleep, for no apparent reason. The other local fairy creature was the Fainidree.
Okay.
These trickster spirits, said to be of fairy origin, were mischievous, temperamental, or helpful, depending on how said Fainidree was approached.
Those are just the emotions of every human being on Earth.
But you got to... Because, again, these things have their own agendas. When we talked about the Enochian world to everyone's incredible enjoyment in previous episodes, you understand that when you meet or you believe that you meet, if you believe so hard that you're meeting an entity from another realm, you have to understand, especially if you believe this is full-on magical hullabaloo, so just come with me. If you believe and want them to work with you, you got to come at them on their level. You got to incept them. You got to go and make them. It has to be their decision to help you.
Yeah, and these creatures, the creatures of the Fae, hobs, brownies, and the like, they can either help or they can destroy.
So you want to be nice.
But that's the thing. It's never with malice. Only because the Fae are said to be ignorant of the needs of man. They don't know what's best for us. They're trying to do their own thing. They have their own agenda. And they're either unable or unwilling to learn what's best for humankind.
The book, The Astral Plane, talks about how an entity from the other side sees our world, right? Imagine that our world is one level of density, and then there's like 8 worlds on top of this world that are all varying levels of things that we can touch. The one right above us is where something like this would be, one of these weird little fairy creatures. But when they see us from all sides. Like, we appear like kind of like a Picasso like painting, like one of those things where we appear flat. They see every one of our angles, and not only see that, but they see every little bit of like the earth energies inside of us, all the cells, all radiating energy at a time. And then there's the egg-shaped astral, like when you see in aura pictures that you get if you go to like a fun rap party or you go to like a girl's bachelorette party, you go to one of those aura pictures, there's that they have to then kind of interpret, because to them, that's the only real thing. Our meat bodies mean nothing to them. They just see these orbs. So they're constantly trying to figure out how we work, like we have to figure out how they work. We're as much of a curiosity to them as they are to us.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm. It's not to some. Some people don't find it interesting, but I find it interesting.
When we examine the story of Gef the Talking Mongoose, It seems as if he was much more a spirit of the trickster variety, but ultimately harmless, if indeed Gef was what the Irvings said he was. Starting in September of 1931, the Irving family was first visited by an entity that eventually identified itself as, quote, a ghost in the form of a weasel. Ooh. Now, certain people in the psychical game had much to say concerning Gef's provenance. Some of them speculated that the Irvings were actually highly psychic individuals, particularly Jim and Margaret, and that through nothing more exotic than excruciating boredom, they communed with a spirit already present at Dorlish Kashen and willed it into physical being. But no matter the means of Gef's conjuring, the story that the Irvings told was that his appearance was slow to come, because it would be absolutely ridiculous to assume that a fully formed talking mongoose just appeared in their fucking kitchen one day.
That's ridiculous. Now, over time, if it appeared, now I'm getting a little bit more sold on it.
What is this, fucking Sesame Street? No, this is the Isle of Man, darling.
Now, at first, the family just called the spirit Jack, because the creature had no physical form in the beginning. At first, it was just making noise, something closer to a poltergeist, and it took a while before it began to directly communicate. Jim Irving's first instinct was that they merely had a clever flesh and blood creature, so he tried blocking its entrance into the home by filling in all the cracks in the walls and the floors of the house. But still, the fucking thing got in.
Can I just say this? Maybe you should do it anyway. Just if you got a big hole in your wall, feel free to plaster it. Just cover it, just in case.
Don't need a reason, unless it's a peephole. And you don't want to plaster it, but that's for different things altogether.
Indeed it is.
I was watching that documentary called Rats, and these fucking things can fit through a hole that's only 2 inches big. So you got to cover all these holes if you think you got some kind of magical fucking mongoose in there, especially if he's coming from inside the house. He's coming from your fucking brain.
When I had that rat in my apartment for a month, which is still giving me PTSD, it could have snuck into my dick hole. That thing, I tried everything.
It could have snuck into your fucking dick hole. You better start plastering up your nose and your mouth before going to sleep, because it's going to crawl inside of your body.
That was horrible. I hated that thing.
Then, whatever it was started eating the family's food while they slept. And since they seemed to have no choice, they started leaving out snacks for their new resident, and thus began a relationship with the entity.
Which is interesting, because that is what you do to appease the Fae. So they accidentally, if it's true, that they ran into something that's some form of elemental that was already there, that is now responding to their presence. They're encouraging it and saying, okay, here you go. We will allow you into your home, which is how you're supposed to handle the Fae, because if not, they steal your fucking microphones and your belts.
I know that. So what does Gef the Talking Mongoose like to eat?
He liked bacon without fat. He liked chocolate quite a bit.
He liked chocolate.
Biscuits. He liked biscuits.
What is this, the Met Gala? That's nice stuff.
He's cute. He's European.
Jeff's existence might have been an extended bit that got out of hand, and it might have all been imaginary. But as we said, the fact remains that Jim, Margaret, and Vora believed in Gef the Talking Mongoose until the day they died.
Damn.
Now, at first, Jim said Jeff's speech was nonsense. He said it sounded like this, quote,
Oh. What do you mean? He said he wants a biscuit. I get it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm speaking puffin.
Eventually, though, that progressed to barks, and Jim responded by imitating various animals, and Gef would repeat those noises back to him. That carried on for a few weeks, along with simple conversation, and before Jim knew it, Gef was fluent in English.
Why do I feel like Charles Manson had the same conversation with the same entity in his jail cell the past 40 years of his life? This is straight up an isolation fever dream.
Hey, Gef, let me ask you something. You know how to eat pussy?
Well, golly gee, I don't, but I sure hope to learn.
You went to the wrong cell. Go talk to Sirhan. Maybe he knows more.
But from what Jim speculates, Gef was just pretending to not speak English, and this little game was just to ease the family into accepting his existence. Because that's the thing, Gef showed up in kind of like fits and starts, which sort of goes back to Henry's theory that this is poking through from the astral plane. It doesn't come out all at once. It merely begins to evolve, and the people that see it, the people that interact with it, they add their own bullshit to that entity.
They are manipulating the astral plane with their thoughts and energies and creating the only thing, the way I could truly describe it, as a paranormal hernia, where it is slowly going through the layer, and it does affect your work.
That does make a lot of sense. It also reminds me of when you move into a Brooklyn apartment and you're like, I want to get rid of this key lime colored wall, and you try to paint it over white, but then slowly but surely the key lime color comes right on through.
The thing was, this tactic of easing them into it, it worked.
Oh.
The family was not frightened of the entity at all and approached the existence of Gef with an air that was more curious than fearful. They were soon teaching him nursery rhymes, and Gef was able to repeat those nursery rhymes verbatim.
And Gef became Andrew Jeff Clay. And he would say, hickory dickory dock. What does that go? Hickory dickory dock, something sets. Yeah. Somebody sits on something's cock. I don't know,
that's
but it all ends with cum.
It's that simple. Yes. You're just trying to add more to it than it's there, but that's why Dice was such a poet.
Such a poet.
Simplicity of language.
Concerning paranormal undertones, though, Jim said that in the early days, Gef sometimes made a noise that was similar to threshing or churning. The only other time Jim heard that noise was when he sometimes heard it around two local women who were said to be deep into the witchcraft game. He said that noise followed them, and he heard that same noise when Gef was around.
They were just trying to get him to leave. Like, hey, maybe if we make a couple of witch noises, he'll go away because he's been staring at my low-cut shirt for quite a bit of time, and I'm sick of sharing my mangoes with him.
Absolutely. I mean, it's probable that these two women were just in a lesbian relationship, and then they had to just be like, no, they're definitely witches.
That happened a lot.
Yes, it did.
So by October, Gef had reached physical form, and both Jim and his daughter Vora saw the creature with their own eyes. They described it as having a small rat-like body with a long bushy tail and yellowish fur, speckled with brown spots.
Okay.
And that naturally drew attention of the press, who at this time were usually quite keen to report on any and all supernatural goings-on, because the spiritualist movement of the early 20th century was beginning to evolve into the realm of psychical research. So it was a legitimate thing to cover in the press.
This was a paranormal boom at the time. Like, the people were obsessed with it. You had the Theosophical Society ready to go, and then the Fairy Research Society. All of these different groups were like making money during this time period and getting government help. And as we'll see, it involved like judges and shit, like really technically like trustworthy human beings.
I think it's very good that you weren't in this time. For us, for you, it would have been great, Henry, because you would have had real wizard power, and then you'd been like, she's a witch! I know she's a witch! You would have killed so many people.
I mean, that's the thing, is that there was actually, some rumors that Aleister Crowley worked with Winston Churchill during World War II.
Where did those rumors start?
Aleister Crowley. Yeah, definitely started with him. And working with Winston Churchill probably had to be getting him a couple of younger males that were super excited about showing the Prime Minister their buttholes.
I could see Aleister being the bottom to Winston Churchill, just Winston putting his belly on his back, just going to town. He's very stressed out. He's got to kill a lot of people,
I tell you what, Mr. Crowley, I may be drunk, but you have a terrible asshole. And I'll tell you what, I'll be sober in the morning.
Oh.
The press named the creature the Derby Spook, and pretty soon the story had jumped from the Isle of Man over to England, and the farm was overrun by sightseers hoping to catch a glimpse of the curious ghost. And Jim said that the invasion of looky-loos actually proved that he wasn't in it for the money. He wasn't paid by the press, and in fact lost money because the crowds who came looking for the Talking Mongoose caused quite a bit of property damage.
Honestly, he should have charged.
No, because then it shows that he was doing it to create a theme park on the Isle of Man, and this is not Beetlejuice. He did not do that. But the rest of the Isle of Man did not particularly enjoy the influx of Gef tourists coming onto their land.
However, some of the people who came to look-see actually testified to Gef's existence. At least 15 people who visited the farm over the years said they had interactions with Gef, and Jim said he had a signed statement from 3 local fishermen who attested to the same.
That's more than the amount of people that could say that J.D. Salinger was alive after he wrote the goddamn book that he wrote that killed Lenin.
It's also very difficult to get fishermen to sign anything. I don't think a professional fisherman, has filled out a census since the beginning of the census. But I also am glad that he decided to trust fishermen because, of all of the sportsmen in the world, the fishermen are never known to lie.
No.
At first, the haunting was somewhat cute and limited mostly to annoying knocks and raps. That evolved into various bits of speech emanating from what Gef called his sanctum, which was a small storage space in the corner of a room where the walls didn't quite touch the ceiling.
Isn't that sad for every husband? This is a bit of a stereotypical joke, but that's his place.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's his place.
You get your sanctum. It's up there. It's in the corner. It's that 2x2. So if you can't fit in there, sorry, that's your fucking sanctum.
Yeah, not to be too road comic, but men are told where they're allowed to exist inside of their homes.
But when the presence of Gef became more of a nuisance than a lark, the Irving family went on the offensive. They left a piece of bread covered in rat poison in Gef's sanctum.
Ooh.
But they found that the creature wasn't so easy to kill. Instead, Gef got even more annoying after eating the poison, screaming for 20 minutes uninterrupted, using a noise that sounded like, in the words of the Irving family, a pig having a horseshoe nail pushed through its snout.
Just all day long. You're trying to get used to the mongoose in your home. And then you probably ask it to leave, and then you poison it, and it's not working, and then it's just going for hours.
Yes.
Hours.
I don't know why they tried to poison it.
Even when Gef finally calmed down, he still spent 30 minutes sighing and moaning.
How would you react if you're invited for dinner and you find out they tried to poison you?
Yeah, you fucking kept feeding me. That's my thing, man. It's been like, I'm a house guest. You kept feeding me. You could have stopped leaving out food, and then eventually got to go find other food.
They tricked him. They tricked him.
In one of their first back-and-forth communications with Gef, they asked him, why? Why are you screaming? Why are you moaning and groaning? And very simply, he said, quote,
I did it for the devilment.
You did it for the government?
No, fuck the government. Fuck the government. I believe that we should burn down the White House. That's Gef saying it, not Henry.
No, he did it for the devilment.
Oh, for the devilment.
I did it for the devilment.
Whoa!
I did it for the devilment.
That's a fun term. I'm going to start saying that.
Devilment's wonderful.
Yeah.
After that, the gloves came off for a little while between Gef and the Irvings. He'd threaten Jim's daughter Vora and throw stones at her while she slept. So the Irvings moved Vora's bed into their room temporarily, at least until Gef calmed down. Gef reacted by thumping the walls and screaming at him the whole time they were moving the bed, saying, quote,
I'll follow her wherever you move her. Don't follow her.
But after Gef composed himself, he told them that Vora could go back to her room, and he promised to never hurt the family again.
I promise.
Uh-oh.
And in this, he kept his promise.
Oh, good.
He's nice.
Was an honest little mongoose.
That's very nice.
For the next few years, Gef and the Irving family lived in peaceful coexistence. About the worst Gef did was occasionally spit at the family, and from time to time he would urinate in the house.
Oh, that does happen.
So does Wendy. So do I. There's so many things. Sometimes you just gotta pee.
Yep.
But it is weird. That is one of those that gets into the poltergeist area, where a lot of times poltergeist activity is seen where there's like puddles of foul-smelling stuff, which in this what they're basically saying it smelled like fucking mongoose piss, and that there was some kind of little creature pissed inside of their house. But it seems like with the amount of holes they had inside of their home, it might have been a little creature pissed inside of the house that Gef was just happy to take it and being like Al Qaeda, he just claimed it.
Yeah, I think it's probably Gef the Talking Mongoose.
But even so, Gef was fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Once, when Jim and his wife were about to engage in marital relations.
What is that? What does that mean, Marcus? What's marital relations?
They was fucking.
Days was fucking.
They's about to fuck.
All right, good for them.
Jeff went outside the house and started yelling about what was about to go down in the bedroom.
They're about to fuck.
Y'all be fucking in here. You wouldn't believe the kind of Irish fucking that's going on in this fucking house.
What's that, Gef Talking Mongoose? They're about to fuck in there?
They're about to fuck.
Whoa!
I actually saw them get in opposites. So they're about to no 60.
All right, Jerry, Larry, Craig, let's go. We're gonna watch them fuck.
All right, you can watch us fuck. See how it's done. See how the lady takes me heaving like a tugboat coming into the harbor. Meanwhile, Vora's just sitting to the side, traumatized.
Not an easy day.
But by December, instead of spreading around the bedroom habits of his hosts, Jeff was bringing gossip from around the island back to the house, although that gossip was mostly from workers on local road crews.
And that holds into the history of witchcraft. Very often, the use of familiars, the ones that would actually use their familiars, this was a common behavior where they would go and report on them on shit and come back, kind of like the Damons in was it Philip Pullman's The Golden Compass, like that series where it's like they would go and come back. Sometimes they did it against a witch's will, where the creature would go out and come back and tell them a bunch of gossip, and a witch literally would be like, "Stop it! I don't want to know. I'm trying to have plausible deniability."
Right? Yeah.
One fun thing about the work crew, though, is that on one occasion, a crew member said he dropped a piece of bread on the ground and later saw it moving towards a hedge, seemingly carried by an invisible force that he knew was not the wind. He said it wasn't a windy day.
And how do you know that?
Because it wasn't a windy day.
Okay.
He was outside.
All right.
Because he wasn't wearing any clothes, and he knows that when his body hairs ain't moving, there ain't no wind.
Ain't no wind outside.
So by 1932, the entity proclaimed that he preferred to be called Jeff, spelled with a G and one F.
Remember it.
It's very easy to remember.
And he claimed that he had been born 80 years before in India and had been chased out of the country by a man in a green turban accompanied by a hunchback.
Well, that really doesn't isolate it. That doesn't. We got a lot of people we got to look for then.
And you know what's interesting? Okay, here we go. Very similar to the UFO phenomena when you speak with aliens, especially old school alien visitations. They lie. When they even see little creatures, there's stories, right? Jacques Vallée did a good compilation of stories of like weird little long-nosed workmen that you'd see in a field, like old-timey UFO sightings. And they would say stuff like, "We're from the moon, and you can come up with us in our hot air balloon." And their hot air balloon was a fucking UFO, and they're just talking in whatever is the day-to-day things that people would understand. Number one, a way to pulling from images from our consciousness to help bridge the gap in communication between two wildly different species and ways of living, types of intelligence, different planes. And then they also feel like they need to give you an explanation. They feel like humans need to be calmed down. Us chimps need to be told a bunch of bullshit fucking context because we can't just sit and accept a relationship with the astral. They have to contextualize it and say something like, "Yeah, I am an Indian mongoose. I come from a physical place 80 years ago, so you can buy me. Because the more you believe in me, the more I can hang out in this plane of existence."
They like being there.
All right. I love it. Who wouldn't want to be in the early 20th century, 19th century, 20th century?
20th
Europe?
century?
Yeah, 19th century. That was a while ago. Yeah, that was a very fun time for a mongoose.
Yeah, 1930s. It was before things got harsh.
It's a great time for a mongoose, actually.
Yeah.
Well, soon after Jeff gave himself a name, a newspaper called the Daily Dispatch published another Jeff story, printing the headline, and this is possibly my favorite headline of all time, "Man Weasel Mystery, Grips Island."
Oh, God. This is the beginning of the end.
Oh, God. I can't wait to see almost the same headline when Kissel finally goes fucking amok and it says "Man Moose Mystery Grips New York Island."
Yes, indeed. Can't wait.
Man Moose runs amok in Manhattan.
Yeah, it's the Man Moose. I know that Man
By
Moose.
run, we mean he slowly walked after he got a little tired.
Now, there was a reason why they called Gef a man-weasel. Jim Irving told people that he thought that they were dealing with a manimal of sorts.
Oh.
A hybrid with the body of a weasel-like creature and the mind of a man. And for some reason, this creature had chosen Dorlish Kashen as his home.
Okay.
Jim also entertained the possibility that Gef was the result of a crossbreed between a weasel and a ferret, and the combination of the two species had resulted in an unusual throat formation that gave it the power of speech and heightened man intelligence.
I don't know why, in my mind, I find the weirdest explanation to be that it is, in fact, a physical talking mongoose. Now, of all of them, like whether it's a fae or a ghost or any other of the weird paranormal versions of it, I kind of buy. But there's something like, to me, kind of like weirdly frightening about a weasel with man hands looking at you going like, I'm from India. Like, if I saw that, like, I know I'd have to go to a fucking hospital.
Absolutely. I don't want James Corden from the movie Cats in a mongoose
form. If I saw
form.
James Corden from Cats on my lawn, I'd fucking shoot it in its fucking belly so it died slow.
You have that right.
Well, concerning how Gef talked, Jim was let in on the secret. Gef claimed that a mongoose can speak if he is taught, and left it at that.
It's like Dangerous Minds.
Cool.
It's just like
But still, the reporter who wrote the man-weasel story, he had a little bit of fun with it. He wrote, quote,
Had I heard a weasel speak? I do not know. But I do know that I have heard today a voice which I should never have imagined could issue from a human throat. That the people who claim it was the voice of the strange weasel seem sane, honest, and responsible folk, are not likely to indulge in a difficult, long, drawn-out, and unprofitable practical joke to make themselves the talk of the world, and that others have had the same experience as myself.
Signed, Truman Capote. This was his first piece, actually. He got a lot better. Is this either the greatest journalistic assignment or, like, are you the dumbest person at the office and they want to get rid of you?
I don't know.
I can't tell.
I think it's both. I think actually it's both. You are lucky enough to be the dumbest person to get the talking weasel story.
Weren't we leading up to like a massive world war at this point?
There was a lot going on in Germany at this point that should have been covered instead of Gef the Talking Mongoose, yeah.
It almost seems like the lack of coverage is what allowed it to blossom into what it became, but I'm glad we got this story, though. Even though, and we got many episodes out of the Nazis, so technically we should be thankful to them.
Sure.
That's a fun way to get in trouble.
Now, this was actually one of the rare occasions when Gef actually spoke for a visitor, or at least a visitor heard him. When Gef refused to speak to the reporter initially, the reporter left. But when he got outside the door, he actually heard Margaret consoling Gef, telling him that the gentleman had gone away and everything is okay now. And to this, Gef replied, quote,
He has not. I can hear him whispering. I won't talk for these people. They're all liars.
Oh, Gef.
And it's possible that this aspersion caused that same reporter to also throw the Irvings under the bus.
Just because Gef called them fake news, huh?
But he heard the goddamn voice from inside the house. We'll get into it.
In that same article, the reporter speculated that daughter Vora was perhaps a highly talented ventriloquist, and pointed out in the newspaper that this teenage girl didn't have any friends.
Oh my, what is wrong with this? This guy is such an asshole.
Her life was fucking just decimated in teenager terms. Like,
did he say that?
Shown the whole world how dumb she is and how lonely she is and how all she does is make up voices all by herself and she lives as the fucking weasel.
I mean, also,
she could never be on the yearbook squad in school after this shit.
She lives on the Isle of Man. It's just a bunch of garbage pail kids around. Who is she supposed to hang out with? There's no other 13-year-olds.
There's probably a couple of, like, rough farm boys that she wished she could sit on the lap of, and now they won't look at her because she's fucking got mongoose juice all over.
I don't think that would stop them.
Well, other newspapers went a little more sensational, such as the Peel City Guardian. They went full cryptid with the story, claiming that Gef terrorized both the Irvings and their neighbors with hissing breath and a terrifyingly high-pitched voice.
Cool.
They also claimed that Gef had the body of a weasel, the head of a pig, and great glowing eyes.
They loved the amalgam.
Body of a pig.
My favorite YouTube video.
I don't know what it was about old-timey cryptid reporting and stuff. They love mixing up different animals.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just because that's kind of a Bible thing.
Well, the chimera is a pretty common creature in mythology, specifically like Greek mythology and also like the Book of Revelations, like you said, with the Bible. But yeah, they really do enjoy chimeras in this period of time.
They're like swapping the parts, which I get. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about.
I mean, you look a lot of coat of arms throughout England. A lot of them have chimeras, like a griffin's a chimera, all that type of shit. So yeah, they enjoy it.
It really depends, though. You have the head of a pig, the body of a cow, and the cock of a chicken. That'd be weird.
I don't want a chicken's cock. I want the cock of a pig. I want the head of a chicken. And I want the body of an owl. That's kind of fun, right?
We don't get to choose. We just don't get to choose, do we?
Well, after the article was published, a reader wrote in and said that the pig face suggested that maybe they were dealing with a mongoose instead of a weasel. And everyone just sort of rolled with this guy's assessment.
Yep, love this guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You know what? Yep. Done.
Is it the O.J. Simpson defense team? What are they? They're just making shit up?
In fact, well, when Gef was asked point blank if Gef was a mongoose, he said, quote,
I never said that he's a mongoose. Others suggested it. Then Gef himself stated he was a marsh mongoose. And now I'm a liar, making me a liar.
So Gef did say he was a mongoose.
After somebody else said that he was a mongoose.
So is that because they're psychically making him a mongoose?
Oh, now you're on board, buddy.
Ha-ha, Kissel is starting to understand. He's starting to get into the wiggity world of things that don't matter.
And again, it makes you dumber.
There's nothing like an action-packed summer blockbuster, right? Well, Pluto TV has heart-pounding movies streaming for free. Everything from Top Gun Maverick to Transformers Rise of the Beasts to Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Find your favorite fighter pilots, bounty hunters, alien invasions, heists, heroes, mean girls, and dream girls all landing on Pluto TV all summer long. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. You know, stigma shows up in a lot of different places. I know I had to explain to my handyman about the devil imagery in my home. I had to explain that in our home, El Diablo es bueno. And he reluctantly agreed. I think largely just because he was in my home and he was scared. But over time, he began to see, the devil can be my amigo. See, even in 2026, stigma can get in the way of a lot of things, right? My handyman almost didn't put up my floating media cabinet, right? You gotta get support for your mental health. Maybe you've encouraged friends to consider therapy while avoiding taking the first step yourself because you're busy, worried what others will think, or telling yourself you should handle it alone. No, you need a team. Get therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform. Give me a space to slow down and talk through what's building before it feels unmanageable. So let's take a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp will handle the initial therapist matching work for you. Their industry-leading match rate means BetterHelp typically gets it right the first time. Feel confident knowing BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of ethics and are fully qualified. So don't let hesitation hold you back. Find support with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod.
Hey, podcast listeners. Mr. Ballin here to let you know we are now publishing 4 times a week on my podcast, Mr. Ballin Podcast, Strange, Dark, and Mysterious Stories. That's right. You'll be getting 4 new episodes a week covering unbelievable mysteries, chilling true crime, and stories so strange they sound made up. But they aren't. They're all true. Don't miss an episode. Listen to and follow Mr. Ballin Podcast, Strange, Dark, and Mysterious Stories, wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube.
Now, after seeing the article in the Peel City Guardian a woman named Florence Milburn wrote a letter to the National Laboratory of Psychical Research.
How bored are these people?
I mean, it's huge. This is huge news for the Isle of Man. We got a talking mongoose. Honestly, if there was a talking mongoose in my apartment building, I would be there with an old-timey reporter's hat with like the weird piece of paper on the side, the big flashbulb camera, just to be a part of the whole hubbub.
No, I know.
And who should receive that letter but world-renowned parapsychologist Harry Price.
Oh,
yeah.
His name comes up a lot.
Yep. As you might remember, Harry Price was the man most responsible for bringing the story of Borley Rectory.
Rector dang near gave her a nice Corvette.
Wow.
He's the one that brought Borley Rectory to the world.
Nice.
But long before he encountered the ghost of Reverend Bull, Harry Price dealt with Gef the Talking Mongoose.
So Harry Price just had the greatest life of all time? Is that what we're
He
getting
really
to?
did. I love this guy. This guy, what a fantastic life this guy got to lead. But he was like not super enthused about Gef the Talking Mongoose. When he first saw it, he was just like, I think I can give this to somebody else and see what they do with it. And maybe we'll vet it a little bit before I go and find this fucking talking mongoose. Especially because the Isle of Man, unfortunately, it didn't seem like a place a lot of people were like super excited to go to.
Oh my goodness! So he was the curmudgeon agent from the docuseries McMillions. Thank God somebody else found this story and ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, for the initial investigation, Harry did not go himself.
Oh wow! And then it blew up. I don't think he should be. I'm against him now. I don't think he should be allowed
it's all
in.
about packaging. What did we learn from Edison? It's about packaging.
Mm-hmm. Instead, Harry Price sent Captain Harold Egerton Dennis to get a bead on the whole story. Now, Gef didn't speak to Captain Dennis on the first night, but when the captain returned the next night, Jim informed him that Gef would speak in exchange for a camera or a gramophone for Vora.
It's almost like their daughter asked for a gift they couldn't afford.
Yeah, it's like asking Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what I'll start doing instead. If I, what I'll say to Wendy when she wonder, like, is there a Santa Claus? Maybe I'll tell her that actually, no, you should ask Gef the Talking Mongoose for steak tonight.
Oh.
But Gef also said that he would only appear if the person requesting his presence believed in the Talking Mongoose, because Gef had no time for what he called doubters.
Nope. Time, you got to believe in him, man. I get it.
Hey, life is short. I understand.
I get it, man. You can't let it's like, fucking I'm certain MJ didn't allow a single non-believer inside that circle.
Hell no.
That's how you get those W's, man.
Now, Captain Dennis was open to the idea of a talking mongoose, but still, Gef wasn't having it. On the second night, Dennis heard a voice coming from the bedroom when he was talking to Jim. And the captain shouted in assurance that he did indeed believe in Gef. I believe in you. But Gef replied, quote,
I don't mean to stay long as I don't like you.
What? What did he do to you, Gef? What happened?
You didn't believe?
Well, the captain did try to sneak up on Gef by silently crawling up the stairs.
Oh my God, do you have any idea how difficult it is for a man with one wooden leg to sneak up on something?
Yeah, plump, 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 plump.
But Dennis slipped on a broken step and noisily tumbled back down. And so the captain left, partly convinced of Gef's existence, but still somewhat skeptical. However, there were visitors who had full-on encounters with Gef. A visitor to Dorlish Kashin named Charles Morrison said that Gef responded to each and every one of Jim's commands during his day at the farm. Jim asked Gef to bark, and Gef barked. And Jim asked Gef to sing Carolina Moon, which was a popular song at the time.
Okay.
But instead of singing, Gef said, quote,
Charlie, Charlie, chuck, chuck, chuck. Charlie, my old sport. Clear to the devil if you don't believe. Vanished.
Well, that's not exactly the song that I wanted to hear, but that is a nice tale.
I'll tell you what, I wanted to do a little bit of a dance, and I wanted to maybe, take my daughter on the town to that song, but instead I'll be frightened by it.
Indeed. Nothing like some good fiddle music to get these white bones cracking.
Then that night, as Charles was trying to sleep in the house, Gef reappeared, saying he's going to keep Charlie up all night because Charlie was a doubter. And about an hour later, Charlie heard something under his bed. Morrison said he looked underneath the bed and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back. And Gef asked him, "Do you believe now?"
Yes! It's so fun. It's so fun.
Yes.
Gef then made a spitting noise and then kept Charlie awake all night making various animal sounds.
I can't sleep because of y'all, and y'all can't sleep because of me, and I can't sleep because of y'all. You ever see that? That was, I believe, from Real World.
It could be. It could be.
Well, other visitors were treated to Jeff's penny trick. In this, visitors would flip a coin and have Gef guess heads or legs. That's how it's done on the Isle of Man.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because they got their crest is like 3 legs all put together. And Gef was said to have always guessed correct.
Cool.
Which, that kind of goes against the whole ventriloquism thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Vora would have been able to guess every single time, but Gef was able to do it every single time. And sometimes he would even guess the opposite on purpose, but he would always guess the opposite correctly.
It's very interesting. There's a lot of weird corroboration. Because a lot of people used to go over there, and unless it was Jim, it's like they're all hanging out, and they would hear a disembodied voice come throughout the home. The one weird factor of the old school farmhouse was that it was a stone frame that had a wood frame on the inside of it. So there was like a weird gap between the wall and the what actually made up the exterior of the house, which is what a lot of people said was the reason why, the one weird reason of, there could actually be a creature in there, within the walls, making a bunch of noises.
Sure.
But it was very difficult for them to pull off these ventriloquist tricks in front of everybody while they're trying to play the game in the dark.
Yeah, all right, makes a lot of sense.
But as nice as Gef could be to visitors, he could still sometimes be an annoying terror to the Irvings.
At least he was nice to visitors. You're allowed to be kind of a prick around your family.
That's unfortunately the people who get the most prick version of you sometimes, which is unfortunate because we take our families for granted, Kissel.
Yeah, we do. Sure.
About a month after Charlie Morrison's visit, Gef woke up Jim at 5 a.m. saying that he was sick.
Oh.
Jim then heard a noise that sounded like a cat vomiting.
I got a case of the mongoose shits.
And when Jim looked under his bed, he saw a pile of vomit mixed in with some half-eaten carrots.
Oh.
Gef vomit.
Oh, Gef vomit.
And Gef had other maladies besides just food poisoning. On another occasion, a horrible bronchial cough echoed throughout the house when no one else in the family had any kind of sickness. And Gef claimed it was coming from him, saying, quote,
"Jim, I have a goddamn cough. I have a hell of a cold."
Oh, Gef. Do they make mongoose Robitussin?
It was around this time that the Irvings claimed to have actually come into physical contact with the entity. They said they saw Gef run over the crossbeams supporting the roof, and upon closer inspection, Jim saw that Gef actually had doll-sized human hands.
Oh,
cool.
But they didn't have 5 fingers. It just had 3 fingers and a thumb.
Yeah, man. Old school Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
This is what Mickey Mouse would look like if it was real.
Also, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, another reference to them.
Yeah. Margaret was actually able to reach up to the crossbeam and stroke Jeff's head and feel his teeth with her fingers. And after that, Gef was well and truly a member of the family.
He did it!
Yay! Everybody even bought him a little ball to play with.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Aw, yeah.
Did they ever get that xylophone for the daughter there?
Gramophone. In return, Gef began bringing objects from nearby farms as offerings, and he even started killing rabbits and laying them at the door for the Irvings to sell for 5 pence apiece.
Wow.
By the end of it, Gef would kill over 200 rabbits for his adopted family.
Can you sell an animal that is killed by another animal? Isn't there some diseases that could spread that way? Doesn't seem that safe.
No. Well, I mean, this is 1930. I think you could. This is 1935. You can sell anything.
Any meat will do.
Any meat will do.
Okay.
But, this is what obs or the obmen or brownies are also known to do. They if you work in conjunction with them, they will help you in many ways. They go out of their way because he ended up being the breadwinner for the Irving home.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is quite an indictment on the father.
It is.
Well, as far as how Gef killed him, Jim said that there was never a spot of blood on the rabbits, but their eyes were usually bulged out of their skulls, implying that Gef had strangled them to death with his strange little human hands.
You think you're fucking better than me? You think you're fucking better than me? You see him just choking rabbits in a field.
Damn.
Admittedly, Vora was also quite the accomplished rabbit killer herself, but her method was much bloodier. She'd have Mona, the family dog, point at the rabbit, which froze the animal on its tracks. That's what a pointer's for. And Vora would sneak up behind her prey and beat it to death with a stick.
This chick is psycho. The daughter, desperately needs psychiatric help.
No, she's a hunter. There's nothing wrong.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
This is farming. This is a farming life, Kissel. It's a harder life than our lives.
I get my food like a good human being from Taco Bell and from McDonald's. They don't even kill the animals. They're born as patties.
And it's very responsible of them.
Very responsible.
But on the other hand, Gef in time figured out that the family was depending on the income earned from the rabbits he'd killed, and he'd go on strike if he didn't get his way.
Gef unionized, but it's just him.
Conversely, he'd also use rabbits as peace offerings on the occasions that he offended Margaret. And he did offend Margaret pretty often.
He did. He really, really did, because he was he's naughty. He's a naughty mongoose. He's a cheeky mongoose.
Cheeky.
Did he go there? Did he say it like it is?
He did. No, he wasn't. He wasn't being Dennis Miller. He was more of he'd just kind of say stuff, and he'd talk about really personal things that Margaret didn't like him talking about.
Yeah. Man, Dennises have a bad name. Dennis Leary, Dennis Miller, and Dennis Nielsen. I don't like any of them.
There's Dennis Wilson.
Which one is that?
He's a beach boy. But on the other hand, he was also the one that brought Charles Manson into the fold.
He was the one who almost got stabbed, right?
Yeah.
And then famously, Dennis the goddamn menace, who was a terrorist.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Gef and Margaret definitely had their spats. Gef usually wanted to talk at night when everyone else was sleeping. And then he would knock and thump until everyone woke up, which of course made Margaret really pissed off.
Hey, Margaret, you sleeping? You sleeping?
Yes, Gef, I am well asleep here. As you can see,
Why are you talking then if you're sleeping?
Well, because you just woke me up, Gef. I got a long day tomorrow of looking at
Margaret,
grass.
what are you going to do? You're going to go out there, look at fucking rocks?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to do with your whole day?
Yeah.
Margaret.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite little rascal?
I like the one that wears the hat because he's so cute.
Mine Spanky. That's just from Tommy Boy.
That's Tommy Boy, yeah.
She said Gef got on her nerves. And when she told him that he was nothing but a nuisance, he'd spit at her and say things like, quote,
Hard-boiled eggs, nuts, crack them and then eat them. Hard-boiled eggs, nuts, crack them and eat them. Hard-boiled eggs, nuts.
Oh, he's such
all night, man.
Yeah, what a kid. What a kid.
That was his favorite curse word.
Nuts.
Crack them and eat them.
Nuts.
What's another word for balls?
Nuts.
That's there we go. Yeah, that's Uncle Buck.
Well, Gef and Margaret's relationship was even described by the author of Gef as strangely intimate, even sexualized at times.
No, gross.
Sometimes Gef would watch Margaret undress, naming each item of clothing as she took it off.
Hey, you're taking off your hat, huh? I can see your hair nice. Oh, yeah, you're taking off that big strap in front there, the big old round ones in the front. You can take off that. Oh, yeah, nice. Oh, what's that, a parachute? Oh, that's your underwear.
Oh,
man, they big.
Gef, that's crossing the line.
I can see your butt, Margaret. And I'm memorizing it.
Oh, my goodness.
Gef even once tried to hit on Margaret behind Jim's back. And Jim heard the whole thing while he was pretending to sleep.
Oh, man.
He heard Gef quietly talking to Margaret in the dark, saying, quote,
I like you, Maggie. I like you. And I want you to like me. You know what I'm saying?
This is a great episode of Joey Greco and Cheaters.
I like you. And you know what? I'm thinking you like me. You know why? Because I'm Jeff. G in one big G, one tiny little F. When you come down with me, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be one tiny F. It's going to be one big old long F.
Yeah, I do like you, but you're a mongoose.
Yeah, but I don't got just tiny little human hands, if you know what I'm saying.
You got a tiny little dick, too?
Yeah, you got a tiny penis?
Yeah.
Just like my husband. It ain't cheating if you got the same dick size.
I don't like that. I don't like that concept.
Well, once things actually got a little physical, Margaret put her fingers up to the crossbeams where Jeff was waiting, and he licked her fingers. Although the author was not specific on how sensual this licking was.
What is wrong with this person? I blame the author on this, by the way.
The difference of sensuality is the amount of finger that goes in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
If it's one knuckle, sometimes it's an accident. If it's two knuckles and the word sucking gets involved, then it's sensual.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone's sucking on anyone's fingers anyway.
I don't get anything out of it.
But although Margaret and Jeff certainly had their own thing going on, Jim treated Jeff like the son he never had.
The son that's trying to fuck his wife?
Hey, man, that's how it starts. And that's how you learn how to fuck, from the father.
He'd call him my lad. And from what Jim said, Jeff worked as a salve for Jim's bruised emotions. As Jim himself said that his daughter Vora, quote, was not an affectionate child.
She is a sociopath.
She's not a sociopath just because she kills rabbits for food.
Well, not that. It's part that. But then also, she doesn't have any emotion towards her father. Now, what kind of daughter does that? That's very rude. All he does is do nothing for you.
She's a teenager on an island that is basically filled with just sheep and rocks.
Yeah.
She's bored as fuck. She's unhappy. You moved us to here, away from the city where all my shit was.
All right. Not a sociopath. I'll give her Daria. She's like a Daria type. She's upset. Okay, I get it.
But while Jim and the mongoose had a jocular, almost paternal relationship, Jeff's connection to Vora was that of a close friend.
Aww.
They were said to be inseparable for years, playing hide-and-seek and other childhood games. But as Vora got older and lived less in the world of play, Jeff began exploring the Isle of Man all on his own.
It is very difficult to play hide and seek and win with a cryptid. Because they'll be gone like that.
They fucking are gone. And it also doesn't help your friendship getting skills.
No.
As you're running around the forest talking to a ghost mongoose. It's hard. It's just not as acceptable then as it is now.
No, look at the movie Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah?
Yep. It made her life very difficult.
Well, in this, the Irvings believed that Jeff traveled the island not as a mongoose, but was instead able to take the form of a man.
What? He could be a man this whole time?
Well, this power falls
He's a man, baby.
This power falls in line with the beliefs of a witch's familiar. You know, a witch's familiar, if you don't know what a familiar is, it's essentially the witch's assistant. Usually it's like a cat or a frog or something like that, but sometimes a familiar was said to assume human form when the witch needed work done that could only be accomplished by a person.
Well, and why didn't he just turn into a man when he wanted to bang the dude's wife?
I mean, that would be frightening. I think that would be very assertive.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, it's kind of like in a Cinderella world, too, where the familiars used to kind of just show up, too. A lot of times they say spontaneously, these little creatures would kind of show up, which seems to me the idea of when you're opening the door to the unknown, you're basically flooding your home with elementals, and then some of them take on forms or not.
Okay.
And the reason why you can't do that anymore is because the world has too much electricity in it.
This is Marcus's big feel. Marcus got into a thing yesterday. We were talking about how electricity is killing gnomes, and I'm with him.
Wow.
Yeah, that the electricity that is ever present in our lives is essentially written over the astral plane, and what was once common here in the world as fairies and spirits and all type of such can no longer come into this world because of all the electricity.
Well, I think that's the most rational reason I've heard yet for the Green New Deal. Let's get rid of
Marcus,
it. Let's get rid of it.
Do you ever try to? I try to explain to my therapist sometimes, like, these thoughts that I have. When I talk about elementals, I've talked about the astral plane with my therapist. I talk a little bit about Enochian architecture with my therapist, and they always give me this. She always gives me kind of the same. She's nice about it, but she always has been like, I'm glad that you're thinking of such creative things. Like, she does it, and then she moves on.
Well, what would you like her to say, Henry? Because if she agrees with you, she could not be a licensed therapist. Then it would just be one of your wacky bar friends.
I want her to lift up a cage and have a fucking fairy in it. I mean, like, you should meet my other client.
Well, I've certainly talked to my therapist about how Batman is real, but not real at the same time. And talking
Grant
about
Morrison.
Yeah. I've definitely brought up that idea in therapy, and she was very perceptive.
I see it.
Well, while Gef was at home, he still annoyed the Irvings from time to time. One night, Gef gave a list of 40 ailments he supposedly suffered from.
That's a lot for a little mongoose.
Oh, yeah, including rheumatoid arthritis, gouty phlebitis, elephantiasis, melanotic sarcoma, and something called Barbados leg.
Yeah, Barbados leg, dude.
It's
the Barbados leg is when one of your legs is on vacation and the other one has to go to work.
Oh, that's sad. You're just going to drag it behind you.
And Gef thought that this listing of ailments was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Now, why?
I don't know.
He loved it. He just loved it.
He loved it. The entire list was punctuated with what the Irvings described as high-pitched satanic laughter.
I'd be like, why mess with what makes him laugh?
No, that's funny for him. I'm happy he's laughing through the pain.
Yeah,
it's the best medicine I've heard.
Gef also once, and only once, threatened the family with violence. He did.
Yeah, I mean, it was, he did it that one time.
How significant here? Are we talking mass murder?
It's casual violence. I would say it was a casual mention of more. It was kind of like a nice family. Shame if something happened to it.
He went mob with it. Okay.
Yeah, this is the actual quote from Gef.
You don't know what damage or harm I might do if I were roused. I could kill you all if I liked, but I won't. If you are kind to me, I will give you good luck. If you are not kind, I will kill all your poultry. I can get them wherever you put them.
Well, better be nice to him. Better be nice to him, then.
Gef was also exceedingly strong for an animal of his size, able to push a 12-pound chair around his sanctum.
You could almost take him bowling.
Gef said he did it for the exercise.
He's like that old man who would exercise on chairs.
Yeah, he was doing little workouts. It's so fucking cute. I actually, Natalie, there was a period of time when when she was living with Natalie and I, Jackie went through this period of time where she loved weights. Like, she liked strapping weights to her legs and her arms because she's just like our wonderful mother who goes through like aerobic phases, right?
Yes.
And so Jackie was in an aerobic phase and leave these little weights around, these leg weights, and Wendy used to drag them around. And I have to say, oh, that's Wendy working out.
That's kind of fun for the family.
Yeah, it's cute. I was like, she's going to get her neck all thick.
Jackie from page 7. Make sure you check out Jackie and everything that Jackie does. I don't think she loved being covered in weights. I think she felt an immense amount of guilt because she had a conversation with your mother, and your mother shamed her, and then she put on weights to feel better, but then she realized that that's not actually what the problem is.
I've always said there's nothing more functional and healthy than the relationship of a mother to her daughter. And just how there's no weird shit in there ever. It's always straightforward and really just simple and honest and nice.
Absolutely.
But Gef could also perform delicate work, using his weird little 3-fingered human hands to throw needles, and even, at one point, he drew a little self-portrait.
No kidding.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's cute as fucking hell, dude. All this shit's cute as fuck. It makes me fucking just... I fucking love how cute this fucking shit is.
I know. This is. I feel weird. We're in such an adorable little time here.
But of course, when it came to the world outside of Dorlish-Kashen, there was always the question of whether or not Gef was actually real. And after,
that big question.
In Dorlish-Kashen, there was no question as to whether Gef was real or not. But outside, there was definitely a question. And after taking a couple of years off from the subject, parapsychologist Harry Price returned to Gef the Talking Mongoose.
Wow.
Guess it came back in the rotation.
Yeah. He's just like, okay, now came back up. And Harry Price is just like, fuck it. I already masturbated today. I'll go and do this research into Gef the Talking Mongoose.
All right.
Well, Price asked the Irving family for some samples of Gef's fur, and the Irvings claimed that the fur they sent was pulled from Gef's back and tail. But from what Price's contact at the London Zoo said, the hairs most likely came from the dog. Now you might say, of course they're from the dog. The Irvings probably just clipped some from Mona. But it might also be possible that Gef, a trickster by nature, pulled a switcheroo. Because for the most part, the only people Gef really cared about convincing were the Irvings.
These bits of evidence remind me of the evidence that has been accrued over time about UFOs, right? The idea of metamaterials and implants, all these things that now the TTSA are now firmly in the camp of they are trying to do research on, but they aren't. They are making television shows. But the stuff that comes out, especially the fucking, like, the implant nodes and stuff that they found, like all this kind of stuff they found beneath people's skin, it's like weirdly humdrum, but also highly strange. It's like a piece of brass will be found up inside a person's nose, or a weird piece of silicone will be found in a person's leg, and no one's quite sure how it got there. It's not like fucking brand new tech that kind of just it's not Alienware, like literally Alienware. It's stuff that happens on Earth, but it's in an unusual place.
So it's like an elongated silicone tube, almost in the shape of a penis, might be found inserted in somebody's anus, and then in order to make an excuse for that action, they say, "I am not gay to my wife. It was an alien implant," and obviously we all have to believe him.
But even with the dubious origin of the fur, Harry Price still came to Dorlish-Kashen in July of 1935 and brought along a BBC gadfly named Richard Stanton Lambert. Now, of course, Gef didn't speak to either of these men, because Gef knew that Harry Price was a doubter, calling him the man who put the kibosh on spirits.
And that is a word for word what he said. He did say he called him the man who put the kibosh on spirits, which was like, that was their version of saying, like, this song slaps. Like, that was like weirdly like very current slang from Gef.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Harry Price was the guy who got into the game to debunk all the paranormal shit. He was like J. Allen Hynek, who got into UFOs to debunk UFOs. Harry Price was the same kind of guy.
Okay.
But then they pulled him fucking back in.
Yeah. But after comparing the story of the Irvings to the earlier accounts given by parapsychologist Captain Dennis, Price and Lambert decided that it was actually more unlikely that the Irvings would invent and sustain such a ridiculous story than it would be for Gef to actually exist.
Okay.
Now, they did attempt to get Vora by herself to get her side of the story, but Jim, not surprisingly, didn't feel too comfortable with two strange psychical researchers being alone with his teenage daughter.
Yeah.
So they never got the chance.
No, honestly, this is the first and only time he's been a good father.
Well, it's so hard to tell, like when you tell a father that you need to give your daughter the wink test, and at the beginning, you're just hoping it's an acronym,
Right.
Now, Lambert and Price figured this story was good enough for a book, but they stressed to Jim Irving that a book about a talking mongoose on the Isle of Man was highly unlikely to make a profit.
And the least shocking sentence of the day.
That's also, I think, how we did our pitch to HMH. We're like, I don't think anyone will purchase this, but it should be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to everyone who bought the last book on the left. Y'all are super sweet. 3 weeks in a row on the New York Times bestseller list.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, and if you want your copy, go to IndieBound. Go get it. Thank you.
Go to IndieBound.
Yeah.
And after much haggling, they all agreed that if the book sold over 1,500 copies, Jim would share the spoils. That was the point in which the publisher would start to make their money back.
Okay.
Haunting of Cashin's Gap only sold 350 copies.
So close, though. So close.
Publisher lost a lot of money on that one.
Nah.
I did look up a copy of it. Now it's like fucking $1,500.
Wow.
But yeah,
damn.
because there were only 350 copies sold.
That's the long game. They were playing the long game.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, they wait till they're fucking skeletons to make any money. Them and Van Gogh, so excited. They're like, my tombstone will be very popular.
Very nice.
Strangely, though, Richard Lambert ended up making quite a tidy sum from the story, albeit in an indirect way. After the book was released, the governors of the board of the British Film Institute, of which Lambert was a founding member, they had him removed.
Yep.
Why?
Based on the fact that he'd co-written a book testifying to the existence of a talking mongoose, one particularly snobby member called Lambert unhinged.
Oh, my God. Meanwhile, they're all reading the Bible. Hello.
Thank you, Kessel. Thank you.
So, Lambert took the BFI to court for slander. And this is fucking insane. A good portion of this slander trial involved Gef.
This is in court. They all sat with their fucking wigs on in the heat, all yelling about Gef.
Yeah,
okay.
Making their snooty little jokes about the size and bushiness of Gef's tail.
Oh, my goodness.
Just trying to make Lambert look ridiculous.
Wasn't there about to be a war? Or this is post-war.
No, this is 35. This is right when things are about to kick off. They should have been keeping an eye on that old Adolf Hitler fella.
Yes.
No. Because what happens is they needed to keep Gef the Talking Mongoose in the fold. Because imagine how dangerous Adolf Hitler would have been if he could have been aided. But the power of this phantom weasel,
That's
who
true.
could go and tell him where Anne Frank was hiding. Fucking way before they got her?
Maybe Gef the Talking Mongoose could pretend to be a sympathizer, get into Hitler's good graces, then kill him before this whole thing started.
Fucking bucka,
Maybe.
fucking shoot him in the head, dude.
See little Gef the Talking Mongoose with a little Hitler stash and a little Hitler hat.
But in the end, the court decided that while believing in a talking mongoose was indeed embarrassing, it was not grounds for dismissal. So Lambert ended up with a settlement that was worth $500,000 in today's money.
So he got paid.
Well, but
good for him.
Jim Irving didn't get any of that money, and he was a little irked by that.
Why didn't he get any of it? He's the one who ruined his life for this.
It's because, again, he didn't get... Gef, unfortunately, ruined their lives. Unfortunately, that what happens to every person's life who is touched by the paranormal. They all get ruined. That's why I always kind of lean on the side of, why would anybody do this to themselves? Why would they go and tell everybody in the world I own a talking mongoose?
Yeah.
If they didn't at least, if they weren't at least insane enough to believe it, if it was fake.
Well, that's the Harry Price approach, right? Why would they do that?
Yep, why would they do that? Actually, Jim Irving did get offered by Buffalo Bill's Wild West show $50,000 for Gef the Talking Mongoose. They were going to tour him around America like a miniature King Kong.
That's awesome! That would have been awesome!
Just get him a mongoose and put a tape recorder by the side of it.
But Lambert, by the way, he went on to author a second book on the paranormal called Exploring the Supernatural, and that was the first significant study of supernatural phenomena in Canada.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
But as far as Gef went, he was back out of the news just as fast as he'd come in. And Jim was able to eventually capture a couple of pictures of the mongoose, but what was claimed to be Gef could also just be a furry hat placed on a fence.
Gef is the modern, he's what Pizza Rat is for today.
He is old school Pizza Rat. He's the first Pizza Rat. It did look like, the pictures of Gef do sort of look like what they, the rage at the time was fur stoles, like little kind of scarves, and it did look sort of like that. But that's another thing where if you look at pictures of UFOs or other various weird occult phenomena at the time, they all just kind of look like half-made.
Right.
Again, then you just say that they're all fake, but then you're the least fun person I've met at the party tonight, and I don't think I'm going to fucking re-talking to you. You know what I mean?
I don't know about the fur coat is always very interesting, and the fur hat. I don't know why women wanted to look like Sasquatch for such a long period of time. Now you do the faux fur, but the whole thing, I think it's weird.
It's very strange.
I mean, granted, we wear leather and stuff. That's the skin, but I just feel like having the fur on you. It's a very unique thing.
I like faux fur. I want one of those big, like, Russian hats. Those big, like, furry hats. I think
But
they're fun.
you know, in the rain, it's just going to start falling apart. Next thing you know, you're like a chicken coughing up its own chicken fur. What do they call feathers?
You're just remembering an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, that could be. That sneaks in there sometimes. That does sneak in there.
Well, the last person to show an interest in Gef was a man named Nandor Fodor.
I love this guy.
It is
no
real.
way he is over 4'10". No way. If he is, I'm pissed, actually.
Nandor showed up at Darlish Kashen in 1937. He was the research officer for the International Institute for Psychical Research, which of course merged with the British College of Psychic Science in 1938 to become the Institute of Experimental Metaphysics, which soon changed its name again to the International Institute for Psychic Investigation.
Okay.
And then the whole thing was eventually changed to the Bureau of Unemployed Nerds.
But concerning Nandor Fodor, he spent 7 days at Darlish Kashen after corresponding with Jim Irving for 2 years. And Fodor showed up having already bought into the story completely. He was a believer.
Okay, this is very good. Good place to start.
But still, Gef refused to appear, much to Fodor's disappointment.
Gef, but he was a believer, Gef. I don't know why you wouldn't appear.
Gef is losing power.
Yeah.
Gef is starting to ease his way off of this plane into the next, or starting to move farther away from the family to experience more of humanity.
Oh.
Or it's going back to its own agendas and needs to go back to wherever the hell it came from, because maybe Jeff's got a wife and family he ran out on, where he did the whole, like, I'm going out for cigarettes, and then he just never came back.
That does happen.
Yeah, I mean, Gef at this point was being seen less and less. Nandor just waited too long to go.
I see.
But still, based on the accounts of Gef spitting, coughing, and urinating, Fodor came to the conclusion that Gef must have been a physical, living, breathing animal. Furthermore, he believed Gef was a talking animal. Maybe not an animal that had been born with the ability to talk, but certainly an animal that had learned the art of human speech.
Cool.
Which is fucking weird.
Yeah, that is a bit odd, yeah.
It's the weirdest possible explanation.
It's very weird, yeah.
But Fodor also speculated that Gef, although physical, might have still been conjured by Jim Irving himself through an intense yearning for mental stimulation, owing to the entire Irving family going out of their minds with boredom stuck on the Isle of Man.
He also then updated his views a couple of years later, where he then had some other very interesting idea that Gef was not only a physical talking mongoose, but that he was sort of possessed by the brain of Jim. That Jim was controlling him psychically from the outside, like this weird combo thing, which I think just involves him thinking that he had a fern and it was weed, and he just accidentally ate a bunch of it. Like, he just went off the fucking reservation.
As we said, Gef had already started to fade by the time Fodor came around in 1937, and the talking mongoose was physically seen for the last time at Darlish Kashen in 1939. However, when Jim fell fatally ill in 1945, his eldest daughter Elsie reported hearing strange noises from the ceiling beams just before her father passed on. Gef came to say goodbye.
Oh, Gef.
Heil Hitler!
What the hell, Gef? What the hell?
After Jim's death, Margaret moved to Liverpool with Elsie, and the property was bought by a dreadful man named Leslie Graham, who shot a polecat in 1947 at Darlish Kashen and claimed that he'd killed the beloved talking mongoose.
What is the point?
That's not what we want. That's not what we want. None of us wanted his fucking corpse.
Other than fucking the guy's wife, he didn't do anything wrong.
I wanted him to sing and dance. I wanted him to be a showman. I didn't want him to be a fucking pelt.
Yeah, this is why aliens haven't come to visit us yet.
Leslie was a dreadful man. He was a terrible man. As far as Vora went, she left the Isle of Man soon as she could and wanted nothing more but to leave the story of Gef the Talking Mongoose far behind. She gave one interview in 1970, but was still steadfast in her claim that Gef was indeed real, even 30 years later. However, she said that if it would have been up to her and her mother, they never would have told anyone about Gef. But Jim, unfortunately, got a little carried away with the whole concept and ended up taking the whole thing way too far.
Oh, my goodness.
He did a little bit of a Chevy Chase from the National Lampoon movie in this fucking bullshit.
Anytime you end up in the court of law discussing is the invisible talking mongoose real or not, some things have gone awry in your life.
In fact, Vora made the interviewers promise that they would not tell any of her coworkers about the Gef story. And she maintained that the reason why she could never find a husband was because of her association to Gef the Talking Mongoose.
Oh, Jeff's final revenge. All right, there it is.
You know, you could say that Gef wasn't real.
Sure.
You could say that he was you wouldn't be a fun person.
No.
And I mean, because I don't know. In the end, though, I let Gef into my heart this week.
That's good.
I let him in there, and now he's made a little burrow, and I'm going to bring him little bits of bacon. And I'm really excited, and I hope that Gef visits me in my sleep.
So you're using this as an excuse for more bacon consumption?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Gef the Talking Mongoose, thank you all so much for going on this crazy, magical journey.
It was a fun week. A fun, magical week. Yeah, we figured we'd take a little break from the blood and guts and just have fun.
Absolutely.
Have a little bit of goddamn fun. I'm trying to have fucking fun around here.
Absolutely.
Next week we're going to have a relaxed fit episode, but then after that we're going to go deeper into the world of the occult. This whole summer, getting strange.
That's right. Summer of Strange is upon us. It's getting hot here in New York City, and hopefully the weather is nice where you are as well. Now we're going to talk extensively for an hour about the weather. So the clouds, there should be a little overhead today. We do have a thunderstorm planned. That's true.
Oh, we had quite a nasty thunderstorm last night. A couple of my deck chairs got blown over, and I really don't have the energy right now to go out and put them back up.
There you go.
After you enjoy Cloudcast here on LPN, why don't you go and enjoy a little bit of a Bullet in the Mouth podcast.
Yes.
We teach you how to get bullets in this trying times, in these hard times where the gun stores just aren't open, and you want to make sure you can really blow your brains out.
I think the gun stores are open. Also, happy birthday, Henry! Once again, congratulations, you've made it to this. You made it to this. And that's great. And we're happy that you live. Of course, birthdays are for the dying and funerals are for the living. So let's not forget that.
Let's not forget that,
and,
please.
Yes. Thank you all so much for supporting LPN. Thanks for giving to our Patreon. Thanks for anything. Do we have, obviously, the book? Again, go to IndieBound. Thank you all so much for buying the book.
Oh.
I mean, it really is amazing to be on the New York Times bestseller list 3 weeks in a row. It's like exceptionally rare. And, so just thank you all so much.
Yeah.
And I promised a few people that got into my DMs because they were going through stuff that I was going to send them a book with a little written word in it. I will send that out, but it's open. The way to send it, the UPS store is closed until May 4th. Yeah, just give me a little time. Apparently, that's not a necessary business these days. And keep on supporting all the shows here on LPN. We got the stream. Is there anything else, guys? Anything else we want to tell our audience about?
LastPodcastLive.com. Check out our live show because we can't be on the road, so take the road to your home.
Absolutely.
This is a way to watch us in your underwear, which is how I'd rather you watch us.
I wish that you would show up at the live show in your underwear.
Do that.
Sure.
I mean, I'd rather you do that. But check out Last Podcast Live, and also check out lastpodcastmerch.com. We're selling merch. We are still giving 6.66% of all of our proceeds to One Fair Wage.
Absolutely.
We fucking updated new shit. We've got a bunch of responses last week when we asked do you have some merch that you want us to chill at you? And we are going to start getting those gears turning.
Yes, we are.
We got a super cool new t-shirt out there if you want to go check that out. And we're restocked on everything that was sold out previously. So you can go lastpodcastmerch.com. And if you're interested in No Dogs in Space and you've been waiting until the end of the Ramon series to really digest the whole thing, Part 4 comes out next Thursday. So that whole thing's in, and then after that, we're heading on to something else.
Hell yeah. Check out all the shows here on Last Podcast Network. And never forget, folks, hail yourselves!
Hail Satan!
Again. Magustalations, everybody.
Hail me. I think we've been forgetting a lot about Satan these days.
Have
we? I think that we need to be reaching out more to Satan and see what he can do, because basically what it'll help you do is maybe help convince your partner to try something else in the bedroom during these trying times.
Yeah, maybe. That could work.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
Hey, podcast listeners. Mr. Ballin here to let you know we are now publishing 4 times a week on my podcast, Mr. Ballin Podcast, Strange, Dark, and Mysterious Stories. That's right, you'll be getting 4 new episodes a week covering unbelievable mysteries, chilling true crime, and stories so strange they sound made up. But they aren't. They're all true. Don't miss an episode. Listen to and follow Mr. Ballin Podcast, Strange, Dark, and Mysterious Stories wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. One thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. For decades, Angie's helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.